helping women by giving them the roadmap and then saying, I understand this was my journey and your journey might be different. You go at it. You might do it better than I did.
Ooh. No, that's a great question. And I was actually just talking to a friend about this the other day because she knows how much I love Asana. I love systems. I love being able to outsource. I love being able to scale, in a way that you do that is through processes, templates, and things like that. And we're going to do a Facebook Live together. And it's all about like how actually having systems allow you the freedom to listen to your intuition and to take moments and to pause. And I think part of that is that it's important to look at people's roadmaps or experiences as a guide, but not the end all be all, and recognize that your journey is could be completely different than my journey. But it's important. And I've learned this time and time again, which clearly I'm still learning it because otherwise it wouldn't keep coming up, but to pause in between of making big decisions. And even though I have a plan, instead of just making the plan and then following through and executing it, one thing that I'm working on is taking that plan and pausing at like pit stops along the way to say, okay, am I making sure that like, does this feel good? Asking myself the question, do I lean forward or do I lean backwards? What does that look like? And pausing along the way and being okay that you will alter the path along the way. I think it's important to have a roadmap of some sort to get you started, but also know that like most of the time you still have your goal, but the way that you achieve your goal will probably change. You might not launch the same product that you would do. You might not start the same business as you started, but the goal was to start your business, but maybe it's not the one that you thought you were going to start. And you do that by like checking in with intuition and finding space to get quiet and remove yourself from the noise and just sit in silence and to really like, I love meditation too, but just to quiet the brain.
Fantastic answer. Yeah. Fantastic.
Did I pass?
You passed. Yay! A+++, even though it really wasn't a test.
I know.
No, that's brilliant because it is true. One of the things that I preach a lot about and talk a lot about is that as women, especially, we are so culturally conditioned to be the good little girl. Mm-hmm. Here's the rules, follow the rules. Here's the steps, follow the steps. And sometimes it is difficult for us to step back, and whether it is through meditation or intuition or just breathing, and to be okay with the fact that maybe I do need to pivot, or maybe asana doesn't work for me. Maybe I'm going to use this other program because it doesn't work for my brain. That's okay.
Yeah, it's almost you just have to, it's kind of like love, like being with the person that you're with, like choosing to love that person. And you also, someone messaged me on Instagram the other day and asked me like, how do you find your passion or purpose? And it kind of threw me off guard because I was like, how do you find your passion or purpose? And I think part of it is doing things, taking massive action and uncovering it along the way, but also at some point choosing what you want it to be.
Yes.
Instead of like, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. And then you drown yourself in all these things and then you get overwhelmed and then you feel buried and you don't do anything. So ultimately it's, okay, how can you live in a constraint to say, I'm going to go do this sort of inner work, pull things out, and then I'm going to make a choice. I'm going to choose like what feels most good. And I'm just going to go like as deep as I can go with this passion or purpose road.
Yes, absolutely. And that's my whole upcoming book. My 5-step flaunt process is how to find your passion. Because so many of us are like, I want to do something cool, but I don't have a widget. I want to do something cool, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Great. I can help you find out what it is. You can help them get started with what it is.
Absolutely.
And I love that kind of serendipitously just came out, because there is more than one step to this process. For people who are thinking, sure, I want to be an entrepreneurial woman, it really hit me when you said being tied to the clock. People might be having those stirrings and want to do it. Maybe you need me first to help you figure out what it is you want to do. And then you need you to figure out how to do it. Or maybe your whole life you've been like, I want to be the French toast queen. And I don't know how to become the French toast queen. And then you need somebody like you. And not that just the world revolves around me and you, although that's a great world.
I mean, why not? No.
Right. There are people that can help with every step of the way. And you mentioned doing small things. And this is stepping it down even further, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Owning your own business is huge. Working for yourself is huge. There's more than one step. It's not just create a business plan. It's find your passion. It's figure out who you are. Like you mentioned, not being impacted by the highs and lows. There might be some self-development work you need to do. There's a lot of components that come together, and get help and support along the whole way if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you were saying passion too, it reminded me. So I went to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery program in Florida last week. And one of the really eye-opening things that I learned, and it's so simple, is that there's three different types of people, if you will, or business owners or things have you. But one is the artist, two is the leader and manager, and three is the entrepreneur. And really, I think and what I noticed, so the artist is someone who they love doing their art. They love, I would say that when I would do consulting and freelance work, I was the artist. And then you have the leader manager, and then you have the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur is the person who holds the vision and knows where it's going, knows the numbers, and can gear towards what it needs to do. But I also think you can still be someone, like you're saying, uncover the passion and to be the artist and know that that's okay too. Being okay and finding your passion. And some people, if they really want to be like a business owner or entrepreneur, sometimes it's nothing to do with the passion. Sometimes it's okay, what's the most viable business option? But I would imagine both of us talking here and then listeners tuning in, it's no, we want to do something that feels really good. It's not just oh, I'm going to go what market, okay, the drone market's coming up and there's the most opportunity. And I love that now today there's people you teach people how to find that passion and teaching people okay, how do you capitalize and how can you do this for the rest of your life or do it for the foreseeable future every single day and get lit up by what it is that you do. And it's just incredible.
Mm-hmm. I like that again, the artist, that makes total sense. And I hadn't thought about it in those terms, but it's pretty basic and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I like about that too is it almost gives listeners the freedom to say, yeah, I am the artist. I might need a VA.
Yep.
And for listeners who don't know, VA is virtual assistant. They do things that you don't want to do, you're not good at, that you don't have time to do. I love writing. My book's coming out the end of the year. I am tapped out on writing and editing. So I have been resisting getting blog posts up because I don't want to edit it. I love vomiting out content. I'm great at content. I'm so burned out on editing. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, I can hire someone to edit my work.
Yeah.
Freedom.
No, it's such a beautiful thing when you're oh my gosh, there's so much happening behind the scenes that I'm not involved with, but things are getting done and I'm not doing them. And
right.
You're yes.
And you don't have to do them all. And I think a lot of people who think about starting their own business, they say, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Well, some of those X, Y, and Z things you might not have to do.
Right. Or at least not for super long. All you have to do is understand the process, create the template, and then outsource.
Yes. Which goes back to your point of you have a system and then the system provides you the freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I love Asana.
Which is, for people who don't know, basically a project management.
Yeah. And I have a podcast releasing about the 10 ways to use Asana in your personal and business life. And there's a download. So if people listen to it, you can download it, but it seriously has saved me so much time and has allowed me to, and I use it for personal stuff too. I have a personal team. I keep track of birthday cards, big upcoming things, my gift card, all that stuff. It's the headquarters.
I can't wait to listen to your podcast then, because I need to use it personally.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I like that. And again, it's my guess that your community, your group, your classes, you're giving people this information that they might not know. Oh, project management software, that's a thing?
Yes. No, absolutely. And it's so easy. So
yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay. So holding the vision, you said the entrepreneur holds the vision. Tell us a little bit about your vision.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so the vision for She Did It Her Way is to be this Oh my gosh, I just blanked. But it's to be that entry point for women who are in corporate America that have a business idea that are stalling to take action on it. So we really, and this has always been something that when I started out, I wanted to go so big and so broad. And it's been a beautiful thing to be able to narrow down to know, obviously we have a secondary market and people come, but our first priority is to really help that individual who's in corporate America that knows what they want to do in that business, and to help them figure out how do they take massive action to create the momentum to turn their passion into profits. And it's about giving people the freedom, giving women the freedom back into their life so that they can then create freedom and like create the structure of running their business and make more money than they do in corporate America. There's so many opportunities, whether you can systematize or not systematize, but whether you can take a skill that you do, let's say it's marketing and you just don't want to be in corporate and you want to do it on your own time. There is a need for that out in the entrepreneurial, like contract world. And so how can I help women, give them the confidence, and also get them to be able to confidently take the leap and quit their job?
Love it.
Yeah.
And intelligently take the leap. Like you mentioned earlier, you're not just saying, hey, I'm here, quit your job.
Yeah. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyone that tells you to like do that, buy the program and then quit their job, don't do that.
Right. No, bad choices, choices. I like that. I also like how you talked about your own focus kind of switching and having that secondary market, because I think that goes back to kind of that point of learning along the way, test marketing thing, launching something, realizing, oh, maybe my market is more corporate. Ooh, maybe it's more moms. Maybe it's more whatever.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I think you can do that too based on the opt-ins that you create and see which opt-in gets the most traffic and what people are opting into. That's a clear sign that that's the type of content that people are looking for. And that's just one way to test it as well.
Right. So speaking of opt-ins, do you have any opt-ins that the listeners might want to opt into?
Yeah, well, I'm going to push my Asana one. Mainly because I think everybody should be up in systems. It's okay. I'm just going to stop talking about how I love it because you guys already know. But if you head to She Did It Her Way podcast.com/Asana guide. So it's ASANA guide. You can download the free guide that walks you through. I have like screenshots and everything, and it's in correlation with the podcast episode that's coming out, but you can download that guide and you can see exactly how I use it and set up my Asana. So you can start turning the wheels to figure out how you want to set up your Asana, how you want to assign tasks, how you want to do repeat tasks, all that good stuff. So you can head there. Yeah. She did it her way podcast.com/Asana guide.
Perfect. And I will put that on my show page and Facebook and all that stuff. But I'm also going to be scooting over there and downloading that myself.
Yes. I love it.
More knowledge is always more knowledge.
Yeah.
More is more.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's your vision. What are your small steps that you're taking right now to get to that place?
Ooh, I love it. Well, one of the big things 2018 was a year of throwing things against the wall to see what stuck, what worked, what feedback, what I enjoyed the most, right? I think as the business owner and the person who's doing it, we have to figure out what we enjoy the most as well, like what lights us up. And in 2019, it's really about getting products let me back up, having a rhythm to our products and services that we have. So we have a summit coming up that's in April. We have a monthly membership program that meets online on Zoom calls. We've got guest expert training. We've got hot seats and live Q&A calls. So it's a chance for people to get their questions. So it's kind of a little bit of a self-paced, but we all come together. It's a really great community. And then we have a signature core course that will be relaunching in the fall at some point, either in September or October. That is BYOB Academy. So it's Become Your Own Boss Academy, where it's going to be a self-paced course that we're going to talk about the different things as a business owner, like when you leave corporate America, or things that you should be doing before, right? But understanding accounting and bookkeeping, understanding legal, health insurance. How do you even create a opt-in page? How do you connect ConvertKit to it? And so if you really look at it, it's the BYOB Academy is the core foundation. And then Her Way Society is a little bit of it's the additional monthly coaching to keep you engaged so that you don't falter, so that you don't stop. It's to help you keep